Have you ever had your heart completely ripped out by a simple pocket dial? I used to think my mom and I were best friends. I thought we were a team against the world. That was until she forgot to hit that red button on her screen. I heard silence for a second, and then I heard the truth. She didn't just vent, she destroyed me. She called me a burden to my own aunt. But here's the wildest part, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I stayed quiet, and I let her think everything was fine while I plotted my next move. Before we spill this absolute tea, drop a comment down below and tell me, where are you watching from right now? I want to see how far this story travels. Let's get into it. To give you some context, I'm not some freeloader. I'm in my mid-20s, I work full-time, and I moved back home about 6 months ago to help my mom after my dad split. The narrative was always that we were helping each other. I paid half the utilities, bought all the groceries, and basically acted as her unofficial therapist. I thought we had a solid vibe. We would have coffee every morning, talk about our day, and honestly, I thought she appreciated the sacrifices I was making to be there for her. It was a Tuesday afternoon, literally the most random, average day. I was at work, sitting at my desk, grinding through emails. My phone buzzed. It was Mom. I picked up, expecting her to ask me to grab dinner on the way home or maybe vent about her neighbor. She asked me a quick question about the Netflix password, super routine stuff. I gave it to her, she said, "Thanks, honey," and that was it. Or so I thought. I didn't hang up immediately because I was typing with one hand and holding the phone with the other. I was just about to tap end call when I heard her voice again. It sounded different. It wasn't the sweet, "Thanks, honey" voice she just used with me. It was sharp. Annoyed. She was talking to someone else. I froze. My thumb hovered over the red button, but my gut told me to wait. You know that feeling when the air just leaves the room? That's what hit me. I realized my mom forgot to hang up the phone. She was on her landline talking to someone else while her cell was still live in her hand or on the counter. I should have hung up. I know people say, don't listen to conversations not meant for you, but I couldn't move. I heard my aunt's voice on the other end. She must have been on speakerphone. They were laughing. And then, I heard my name. I thought they were just gossiping about family drama, but then my mom dropped a sentence that made my blood run cold. I pressed the phone harder against my ear, praying I was misunderstanding the situation. Maybe they were planning a surprise party? Maybe they were worried about me? Nope. I was dead wrong. I just don't know how much longer I can take it, Linda, my mom said. Her voice was dripping with exhaustion, but not the kind you get from working hard, the kind you get from dealing with a pest. She's just always there. I can't even walk around my own kitchen without her hovering. My heart started pounding in my chest. I'm hovering? I'm literally at work 9 hours a day. When I am home, I'm usually cleaning up her messes. But I kept listening because I needed to know the extent of it. My aunt laughed. Well, at least she helps with the bills, right? Barely, my mom scoffed. This was a straight-up lie. I was covering way more than my share. It's not about the money, Linda. It's the energy. She's just heavy. She's a burden. Honestly, having her here is ruining my peace. I feel like I have a teenager again, but worse, because she thinks she's an adult. Hearing your own mother say, she's a burden, hits you different. It's not like a breakup or a fight with a friend. It rewrites your entire history. Every time she smiled at me that week, every time she thanked me for buying groceries, it was all fake. She was tolerating me. She viewed me as an anchor dragging her down. I felt tears welling up, but I refused to let them fall. I was in an open office, I couldn't break down. Then she said the thing that really sealed it. I'm trying to figure out how to push her out without looking like the bad guy. I need her to think it's her idea to leave so I don't look like a terrible mother to the rest of the family. That was the kicker. She didn't just want me gone, she wanted to manipulate the situation so she could keep her reputation clean. She wanted to play the victim. I realized I was dealing with a level of toxicity I hadn't even recognized. I wasn't a daughter to her, I was a problem to be solved. I was about to hang up, but then she detailed exactly how she was going to manipulate me into leaving, and that gave me the ultimate advantage. I finally ended the call. My hand was shaking so bad I almost dropped my phone. I sat there in the office, staring at my computer screen, completely numb. The words, "she's a burden," kept replaying in my head like a broken record. My first instinct was to text her a furious paragraph. I wanted to storm home, pack my bags, scream in her face, and tell her I heard every word. I wanted to expose her to my aunt, to the family, to everyone. But then I remembered what she said. She wanted to come out looking like the good guy. If I blew up, she would spin the narrative. She would tell everyone I was unstable, ungrateful, and crazy. She would win. So, I stayed quiet. I decided right then and there that I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of a fight. I was going to give her exactly what she wanted, my absence, but on my terms. I remembered watching a story online once, something like "my mom talked trash about me on the phone," and the person in that video regretted reacting emotionally. I wasn't going to make that mistake. I needed to be cold. Calculated. I went home that night and acted like nothing happened. This was the hardest performance of my life. She was in the kitchen, smiling that fake smile. "Hey honey, how was work?" she asked. I looked her dead in the eyes and smiled back. "It was great, Mom. Just really busy." I didn't bring up the call. I didn't act sad. I washed my dishes, asked her about her day, and even made a joke. Inside, I was screaming, but on the outside, I was a statue. That night, I started looking for apartments. I couldn't afford a palace, but I could afford freedom. I reached out to a friend who was looking for a roommate. It was a downgrade in space, but an upgrade in mental health. The gaslighting began a few days later, just like she planned. She started making little comments. "Oh, the house feels so crowded lately," or "I really miss having a sewing room." She was trying to make me uncomfortable so I would volunteer to leave. Little did she know, I was already 5 steps ahead. I had a move-out date set, but I needed to make sure she didn't find out until the very last second. The next 2 weeks were a blur of secret packing. I would pack boxes while she was at her yoga class and hide them in the back of my closet or trunk. I moved small things out slowly, winter clothes, books, things she wouldn't notice were missing. Every time she made a passive-aggressive comment about me being a burden without actually using the word, I just smiled and nodded. "You know, you're right, Mom. It is a bit tight in here," I'd say. She looked confused every time I agreed with her. She was expecting resistance. She wanted a fight so she could play the victim card. By not fighting, I was taking away her ammo. One night, we were watching TV, and she sighed loudly. "You know, when I was your age, I was so independent. I loved having my own space." I took a sip of water and said, "Yeah, independence is key. I'm really thinking about that a lot lately." She looked smug. She thought her manipulation was working. She thought she was planting the seed, but the tree was already fully grown. I had signed a lease that morning. My move-in date was that coming Saturday. I decided I wasn't going to tell her. Not a single word. If she wanted me gone so bad, she was going to get her wish instantly. I arranged for my friends to come over with a truck on a Saturday morning when I knew she would be at her weekly brunch with her friends. It was a tight 2-hour window. The night before, I felt this strange mix of guilt and relief. It's hard to cut off a parent, even a toxic one. But then I remembered the phone call. I remembered her laughing with my aunt about me. I hardened my heart. I wasn't doing this to hurt her, I was doing this to save myself. Rehook, Saturday morning arrived, and as soon as her car pulled out of the driveway, my operation began. You won't believe what I left behind for her to find. The second her car turned the corner, I signaled my friends. We moved like a pit crew. Because I had pre-packed so much, we were just hauling boxes. My bedroom was empty in 45 minutes. I stripped the bed, vacuumed the floor, and left it spotless. It looked like nobody had ever lived there. I went to the kitchen and placed the house key on the counter. I debated writing a long, emotional letter explaining my feelings. I thought about printing out a transcript of the call I overheard. I thought about leaving a scathing note. But then I realized, silence is louder. I took a piece of paper and wrote 2 sentences. I'm sorry I was such a burden. You won't have to worry about me hovering anymore. That was it. I used her own word against her. It was the ultimate mic drop. I got in my car, blocked her number for the day, I needed peace, and drove to my new place. I didn't look back at the house. I felt 100 pounds lighter. When I finally turned my phone back on that evening, the notifications were insane. Voicemails, texts, missed calls. She had come home early. She had found the note. I listened to one voicemail. It started with anger. Where are you? Who do you think you are just leaving like this? Then it shifted to panic. Please call me back. Then, the manipulation. I never said you were a burden. You're twisting things. She was gaslighting me even in the voicemail, trying to rewrite reality. But she couldn't. I knew what I heard. My mom forgot to hang up, and that mistake set me free. I thought moving out was the end of the story, but the way she tried to spin this to our family was the final straw that made me go no contact. In the weeks that followed, the family group chat blew up. Apparently, she told everyone I had abandoned her in her time of need. She played the victim perfectly, just like she told my aunt she would. But here is the thing about the truth, it eventually comes out. My aunt, the one she was talking to on the phone, actually reached out to me. She asked if I was okay. I told her, ask Mom about the phone call on Tuesday the 14th. The one where she didn't hang up. My aunt went quiet. She knew. She knew exactly what was said. And honestly, that validated everything for me. I'm still low contact with my mom. I see her at holidays, but I don't engage deep. I don't give her money. I don't fix her problems. I learned that you can love people from a distance. Sometimes, the healthiest thing you can do is remove yourself from the narrative where you aren't wanted. If you are dealing with toxic family or parents who talk behind your back, trust your gut. If you feel like a burden, leave. Go where you are celebrated, not just tolerated. That call was painful, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It woke me up. If this story resonated with you, or if you've ever dealt with shady family members, smash that like button so I know I'm not alone. And if you want more real, raw stories like this, make sure you subscribe to Older Says True. We are building a community here based on truth, no matter how much it hurts. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.